Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Glad you were with us. We have with us Tequila Johnson. She's co-founder and vice president of the Equity Alliance, talking about the news of the day, which was those redistricting maps that were proposed in the state legislature, and what we had planned on talking about all along, which was the racial wealth gap we're seeing in home ownership as housing prices rise. And so that topic was based on this article that we read that kind of focused on Knoxville, but it's certainly happening in Nashville. Home prices are up for black families. Is selling grandma's house the right choice? So this was some national article focused on Knoxville. And so again, as we kind of begin to wrap this conversation up, what is it you're seeing and what is it you're recommending? I mean, it's so interesting. Home prices are up, but black home ownership is down, and that's a concern, right?
Yes, that is a major concern, which is why I'm saying don't sell grandma's house. And if you must sell grandma's house, make sure that you explore your options. There are a ton of resources out there. A quick Google search could lead you to nonprofit developers. If you are confused about what to do, contact us at the Equity Alliance, and we will make sure to connect you to the proper resources so that you aren't being taken advantage of and you're not selling grandma's house without a plan. But if you have to sell grandma's house, do. But my advice would be, don't sell grandma's house. That is a asset that will provide generational wealth for your family. So as long as you can hold on to grandma's house, hold on to grandma's house. If you need to pull out equity in grandma's house to redo grandma's house, or become your own developer, we can help you find those options and those resources. But don't just sell your home to the first person that shows up at your doorstep with a wad of cash. You will regret it in 10 years, in 3 years.
In 3 years, yeah, I think you're right, because it's going to be hard to find a new place to go live. You're going to have to move farther out, right? You sell that house, it's going to be, even if you get market price for it, it's going to be hard to find another house nearby to buy, right? You sell that house, where do you wind up going?
We're seeing a lot of people moving to Murfreesboro, Clarksville. I've even had a few friends that have moved out to places like Winchester. People are going to start moving everywhere because they can no longer afford to live in Nashville.
And the other big news of the day was the redistricting maps that came out. You are very concerned by that. What's your bottom line on those congressional? It's a proposal at this point on the maps that came out that divide Davidson County into 3 different congressional districts.
Mm-hmm. I think it does a disservice to our minority black and brown voters that reside in the urban core in those areas that got divided up. It really dilutes the voting power. It is a Jim Crow tactic that was used since the Great Compromise when they wanted to count black folks as 3/5 of a person. It is just a way to make sure that our voices aren't heard, because people who are oppressed tend to be the moral voice, the moral vote of the country, and that is black people. When black people vote and we make decisions that will support and that will help uplift several people, because we are the most oppressed. And I think our state legislatures know that. I think that they know exactly what they're doing. I know they know what they're doing. They looked at the numbers. They looked at how black people are voting in those areas, and they realized that it's not in favor of the Republican Party. So they made sure to dilute that power by splitting those core votes of Nashville up into 3 separate, really, really different districts. I don't know what's going to come from it, because a lot of the people who are going to be representing Nashville don't even live in Nashville, probably have never attended a Nashville community meeting, don't know what Nashville residents want. And so this is just very, very unfortunate, and it speaks to what is actually happening behind those closed doors at the General Assembly. And that is racism, that is sexism, that is classism. Those are the things that are going to continue to hurt Nashville, that are going to continue to perpetuate rapid gentrification, that are going to continue to hurt not just black people, but white working class people. It is going to hurt the working class when you send people to Washington who are controlled by corporate money and outside interests that will do something as diabolical as divide up an entire city, a major city, a city that contributes the most to the state's budget.
Tomorrow, I'm going to interview Cameron Sexton, the Republican Speaker of the House, for Inside Politics. So we'll hear from him tomorrow about that issue. But Tequila Johnson, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. We will now take a break, come back, and wrap everything up.